Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on one specific date from our source material, September 24th, 2025.
Right.
And we're not looking at the usual stuff, data or politics. We're looking at the underlying celestial mechanics, specifically this really intense, potentially quite volatile astrological thing, the Mars-Pluto square.
Hmm.
Our mission today is basically to pull out all the key insights from sources like Tarot by High C about what this means for conflict, power, ambition, and maybe even some big transformations.
And we really have to start by framing these two planets,
Yeah.
Mars and Pluto, because putting them together like this,
Hmm.
it's serious business.
Okay.
If you hear Mars-Pluto square, you need to know right off the bat you're looking at one of the most powerful and honestly potentially destructive aspects there is in astrology.
Destructive.
Yeah. You've got Mars that's action, drive, aggression, war, sheer will clashing, like at a hard 90-degree angle with Pluto.
And Pluto is...
Pluto is deep transformation. It's about power, the hidden stuff, the unconscious, and yeah, destruction too, but also rebirth.
So it's like raw action hitting immovable, deep-seated force.
Exactly. And when they hit in this difficult square aspect, the source material calls it a mix of ruthless ambition combined with intense transformational pressure.
Okay, that sounds volatile.
It is. If that energy isn't handled consciously, you get really high-risk situations. Think explosive arguments, power struggles, or even like calculated undermining and sabotage.
So the core warning for this date, September 24th, 2025, is what? Be careful.
Extreme caution, that's the term used, especially in any kind of confrontational situation. Doesn't matter if it's work, community, personal life.
Right.
Careful handling of power dynamics is key, and really trying to avoid escalating things.
Okay, so the advice for you, listening right up front. This is a day to tread carefully with power, avoid blowing things up. But the sources also say this pressure isn't, like, random, is it? It's meant to do something.
Exactly. It's geared towards transformation. The sources really encourage keeping an open mind, looking for new ways to handle things, maybe approaching challenges with a kind of unusual precision.
So channel the intensity, don't just react to it.
That's the goal. What's really interesting is how this conflict often starts inside, psychologically, before it even bursts out.
Let's dig into that. What's actually happening psychologically? What's bubbling up when this Mars-Pluto friction hits?
Well, Pluto rules the hidden, the unconscious, right? And Mars wants action now.
Impatient.
Very. So the main effect is stuff that's been buried deep suddenly comes right to the surface. We're talking hidden agendas, maybe things people didn't even know they felt.
Oh, wow.
And this inner intensity builds up. It can feel obsessive, almost compulsive. There's this huge sense of urgency about whatever goal Mars is fixated on.
That sounds completely exhausting, like being pushed constantly from the inside.
It can be. And the sources point out this is exactly when people can become impulsive, really reactive, maybe controlling, or just plain combative. Because the energy is so strong, if you've been sitting on powerful emotions like deep anger, jealousy, resentment you haven't dealt with, this square can act like a trigger. It just...
Yeah, I can easily see how that could poison relationships or teamwork very quickly.
Absolutely. The documents specifically mention watching out for controlling behaviors, even bullying. And because Pluto's about secrets and the underworld, this aspect can also bring hidden activities or subversive stuff to light.
Revelations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that cycle, the intensity, the secrets coming out, it just feeds existing conflicts. It can fuel paranoia, distrust, both personally and, out in the world.
Well, the sources also say it's not just 24 hours of pure chaos, right? There's a kind of flow to the day, morning versus afternoon.
That's right. There's a definite shift. The morning sounds particularly intense, though, like navigating a psychological minefield, as you put it.
Okay, what's driving the morning intensity?
It's this really potent combo. The moon is in Scorpio, and it's squaring Pluto in conjunct Mars.
Ooh. Scorpio moon. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, isn't it?
It is. So the moon, which governs our immediate feelings, our emotional state, is in its home territory of deep emotion, control, secrets, intensity.
So all those Pluto themes, power, obsession, transformation, become really immediate, really emotional.
You got it. Now, on the plus side, this can bring amazing opportunities for emotional breakthroughs. People might find the courage to face stuff they've been avoiding.
Okay.
The sources even mention potentially passionate encounters because of that intensity, if it's channeled positively, can be incredibly connecting.
There's always a but with this kind of energy, isn't there?
There is. If that same intensity gets misdirected, it's primed for trouble.
Like what?
Power struggles erupting instantly, intense jealousy, compulsive actions. If you go into the day unaware or just unwilling to manage your own inner state, the risk of an explosion is really high.
Because the energy demands transformation, and if you fight it...
It forces a crisis, yeah.
Okay, but then the afternoon offers something different, a lifeline almost.
It does, yeah. It's fascinating. The afternoon sees that same Scorpio moon form a sextile, which is a helpful, flowing aspect to Venus.
Venus. Harmony, relationships, values.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this acts like a cosmic cool down, a safety valve. It brings in a gentler emotional energy. It creates a possibility for healing relationships that might have gotten really strained during that morning intensity.
Ah, so there's a chance to repair things?
If you navigated the morning consciously, yes. It's like a built-in release, offering a path to mend fences.
That contrast is crucial then. High-risk morning, potential healing afternoon. Got it. Now let's zoom out a bit, beyond the personal. The sources suggest this isn't just individual drama, right? There are bigger implications.
Definitely. The intensity of Mars-Pluto, especially with these moon aspects, suggests wider shifts. We're likely to see changes in communities, groups, maybe leadership on a global scale.
Resulting in?
The sources mention significant political power plays, or even what they call mass shifts, big movements of people or power.
Right. Okay, so if we connect that personal pressure cooker to the bigger societal picture, this is where the second source, the StoryScope material, comes in. It paints a picture of how this tension might play out.
Exactly. It gives us a narrative frame for this kind of societal rupture.
And that narrative, titled The Fire Beneath the Surface, it starts, interestingly, not with a bang, but with quiet.
Yeah, it describes silence, but not a peaceful silence. A hollow quiet, it says, in neighborhoods where trust had evaporated.
Wow.
Where whispers suddenly meant more than the news. Like the whole of society was just holding its breath, waiting for something to snap.
That really captures that Pluto feeling, doesn't it? The hidden erosion before the break.
Perfectly. And then what comes bubbling up? Decades of hidden resentments, stuff buried under everyday life, or what the source calls consumer comforts and the illusion of stability.
And it manifests as accusations.
Yeah, accusations fly. Corruption, betrayal, secret deals. It just spreads like wildfire, cracking open communities.
And the paranoia you mentioned earlier, it gets specific in this narrative.
Very specific. It connects right back to that Mars-Pluto theme of hidden agendas surfacing, whether they're real or just feared.
What kind of claims?
The source mentions claims that leaders were just puppets of hidden cabals.
Yeah.
And really tragically on a local level, neighbors being seen as infiltrators.
That level of distrust, it just paralyzes everything.
It removes all the middle ground. It forces people into corners. The astrological tension feeds that perfectly.
And this scenario, it really highlights the difference between how Mars and Pluto operate in a conflict, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You see two totally different styles. There's the Mars energy impulse, raw rage. That's described as roaring in the streets.
So protests, riots, immediate action.
Exactly. People driven by immediate fury. It's explosive, it's visible, often chaotic.
Okay, and Pluto. If Mars is the street fight, what's Pluto doing?
Pluto works differently. Strategically. Quietly. It whispers in locked rooms, the source says. Plotting strategy, executing it over time.
It's not impulsive.
Not at all. These actors move like surgeons. Deliberate. Precise. The goal isn't just noise. It's fundamental change. Carving out power, it says, with careful, deliberate precision.
So sometimes the public might not even see the real moves until it's already done.
Often, yes. It's less like a chaotic riot, more like a calculated coup, maybe even using the chaos Mars kicks up to make those deeper changes.
That's the duality then. Mars force versus Pluto's deep compulsive control.
That's the heart of the square, yes.
Now, the sources then kind of pull back, observe the global reaction. They mention the world watching America specifically, described as the world's most powerful empire unraveling in real time. And we have to be really clear here. We're just reporting what's in the source material, not endorsing any view. But it characterizes some global leaders as fanning the flames.
Right, using the chaos for their own advantage.
Yeah.
While others are just described as bracing themselves, preparing for the inevitable fallout, the ripple effects.
Okay. And this global view leads to the core insight from the source about why this conflict is happening. What's the root cause, according to them?
The documents argue it's not really about the surface issues, not territory, not even ideology ultimately. It's fundamentally about control, transformation, and this really stubborn refusal to evolve.
So the transformative energy is hitting structures that are just too rigid, too brittle.
Exactly. And the pressure builds until they splinter. The source suggests these old structures were cracking under their own weight anyway, not just from outside attacks.
So the real battle is?
According to this narrative, it's waged with information, influence, and it's about this a critical one. Instead of letting that pressure just explode either inside you as an emotional meltdown or outwards in conflict, the advice is to ground it, channel it, turn it into focused, decisive action.
So you redirect it. The energy itself isn't bad, it's how it's handled.
Precisely. That intense pressure, if you ground it and focus it,
Yeah.
can bring about great change. You don't stop the intensity, you use it like a tool.
And the way to think about that action is surgical.
Yeah, the phrase used is a surgical edit, not explosion.
Okay.
Be the surgeon. Deliberate.
Yeah.
Skilled. Not the bomb just waiting to go off. Use the intensity to cut away what's no longer working, what's obsolete or diseased, without destroying everything.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. The inner intensity, the psychology, how it plays out in society with paranoia and distrust, the Mars versus Pluto styles of conflict, and this core idea of resisting necessary evolution. The big takeaway seems to be recognizing this dual potential in the Mars-Pluto energy. It carries this huge risk of destruction, absolutely, but also the potential for really precise, conscious, necessary transformation.
Right.
And navigating it comes down to grounded, conscious action when that pressure hits.
And maybe we should leave you, the listener, with the final question that the source material itself poses. It really hangs over everything we've discussed.
What's the question?
It asks, would America tear itself apart in an explosion of fury driven by that raw Mars rage? Or would someone, somewhere, find the courage to channel that pressure into something sharper, cleaner? A cut that hurt? Yes, but ultimately healed.
That's a powerful choice.
It is. And it's the choice this alignment seems to present. Would encourage you to think about how that choice might show up in your own life, too. And maybe look at what changes you might be resisting right now.